Okay, picking up where I left off last week. I finished welding up what I want to weld up on the nose on the car. And now I have to get it off the car and finish welding it up on the bench and proceeding from there. So let's see if we can lift this off. I just took all the bolts out and let's see how easy it comes off. A little bit snug on that driver's side corner there, but that came off a little easier than I thought it would. Anyway, time to get back to work on everything else. All right, before I get back to work on the nose, which is a pretty big standalone project, I've got to back up here a little bit and remove the fenders, and then I've got to take this substructure out that everything hooks to and finish weld that, get it painted, get the inside of the fenders painted so I can put everything back onto the car for the final time that I'll be working on it. One of the other things I have to do while I have the fenders off is this area here. When I open the doors, because we widened the doors at the front and it changed the pivot point of where the door actually interfaces with the fender. Being this faces out a whole other inch, and so is the fender, and the pivot point is still in the original location. What we have here is even though I have a wider gap here than the rest of the car, this is almost a 1/4 of an inch gap here. You can see that if you pull really hard on the door here, it's right now with no paint, no Bondo, no primer, no clear. It's about probably 1/8 of an inch away, which is probably okay. But what I'd like to do is get the hinges to stop right about there, which gives me about 3/8 of an inch. That way I know that the face of the door is not going to be damaged. It's the same on the other side. And the way I'm going to have to do that is I'm going to have to take this hinge over here at the bottom and drill out and tap and put an adjuster bolt here that'll act as a stop, a positive stop, so that when this hinge opens, it has a final spot that it doesn't want to go past. I mean, there's one there that's from the stock location, but like I said, that's just a tick too far for what we've got going on here. And if in the process of painting the car, if that joint ends up tightening up quite a bit, which it will, with a buildup of primer, etc., then we don't want that face to get marred when the door is opened. At any rate, that's just a few of the projects that I have to do right here, and so I'll be starting with that, get these things off and get them into the paint room. Okay, so this is how this worked out. I basically cut a bolt down to the exact dimension that I needed so that I could thread this inner piece here and have this tighten in against this 100% at the proper adjustment to hit this rear tab that's part of this upper or this outer hinge piece over here. You can see there's a little flat area on the back side here. I couldn't put it through the middle, obviously, because this is what you need, this access hole, to get this bolt in the center out of these hinges out of the door. So anyway, this adjusts it out to so that it stops where it gives me plenty of room to where it won't mar the paint job. So anyway, it's little knickknacks like that that I've skipped along the way that's going to cause me to have to go back and tune things in a little bit, but I hope I don't forget them all. All right, one of the other small jobs that I put off, but I better not forget, is the location of the front side marker lights, these pieces here. What I did was I saved these lower sections of the original fenders so that I could get a line, a level line, as to how it relates to, this is the upper body line where this was cut off, and I have a body line very slightly, you can still see it where I welded the other piece, the lower piece to it. So I have to move these lenses a little bit farther forward on the this Daytona fender here, which won't look too bad because the nose is so much, it's 18 inches longer. But I'll have to move them farther forward because I have a brace right here that holds this out over here. I'm not 100% sure I even need that brace anymore, so I'll be checking into that to see if that's needed. But anyway, this will fit on here like this in its original location, and then I'll give you the mark where this top level line is to go and install those side markers just like I did in the rear. Anyway. Okay, with the fenders off the car, I took this opportunity to finish a couple things that were still left hanging. This is the, I had to run a new line for the window washing fluid, which I'm going to try and put the nozzles up in this compartment here. Anyway, but I needed to run this line before the fender goes back on because this is where the connection is made right here. So that's done, and I also had to, while it was easier to fish this through and plug these all in, I threw the harness for the door inside the door and popped these rubber grommets on. So that's inside the door waiting to be connected back up. And then next I'll have to take this whole front assembly off and finish welding it up and then paint it up and then put it back on. All right, so I showed you that I had located the this side marker light using the 1970 fender cutoff as a pattern. Well, when I mounted it up on the car, it looked way too high. So I took a look at some pictures, and most of the Daytonas have, the stock Daytonas have a very small marker light, and it's way up here and it's pretty low on the car. So did a combination of both, put it in a spot where it looks like it was meant to be there, as opposed to something that was an add-on, which the Daytonas look like. I noticed that the Superbirds are way up high too, but they're small and they're way up in this area over here. But I don't know, something you don't even notice until you're trying to place it. It was pretty obvious, so unfortunately I had to patch this back in where I had it mounted and then remount this a little bit lower on the car. Looks a whole lot better down there anyway. All right, so that's what we're looking like now. If this still looks too blatant because it's bright orange, depending on what color the car ends up being, which I think it's blue. They do have smoked lenses that basically they just look gray that you can buy in the aftermarket, so they can be replaced. But I don't think it looks that bad down low. It's kind of, this was just too in your face. So anyway, that's what we got going on. Now I got to do the other side. Haven't figured out the layout for the other side. It's pretty easy just to make a paper pattern of that side and overlay it on this side of the car and get the same location. So that's what I've done here, and I like it a whole lot better. Like I said, down a little lower right there. Seems to flow a little bit better. Anyway, moving on. All right, so I just got done taking this whole structure off the front of the car. This is what basically mounts just about everything to the front of the car: the fenders, the headlights, the signal lights, ties it all in. And now I have to go about welding it up, grinding it off, and painting it up, and then reinstalling it back on the car and moving forward again. Just finished up this other pocket for the other side marker, and so I'm getting ready to maybe put a little bit of K2 primer on the inside of those fenders, but I want to get to work on welding this up first, and maybe I can spray them all together. We'll see. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Okay, so I got the insides of these fenders primed up with K2 primer, because that's, you know, waterproof. That's what we need inside there. I don't know if Chris is going to add more paint to the inside or not, but anyway, it's already pre-coated with that stuff. Got this all welded up, ground up, cleaned off, and then I just shot this with the K2 primer also. So I'm just going to put a what do you call it? Trim black, because this stuff's pretty durable as far as scuff proof. It's just zinc chromate paint, but it's pretty tough. You can put it right onto stainless steel and it doesn't come off for the most part. Anyway, that's where I'm at with all of this. Just wait for that all to dry and hit it with the top coat, and I'll put it back on the car. Okay, time to make the spaghetti. Have to extend these wires for the headlight out about 10 inches in order to reach the new headlight mounting that's pushed forward on the new headlight support. So this is the headlight harness extended, and I've got to also extend this harness for the signal light, give it a little bit more length so it can reach that new signal light location. Anyway, that's what I'm up to there. All right, so there's the nose and fender subframe bolted back to the car for the final time. The headlights installed for the final time. These items are not going to have to come off when the car gets disassembled for painting, so everything here is done. You can see how much I needed that extra length to reach the headlight plug. And this is going to be for the signal light. Hopefully I've given myself enough room there. Fortunately, it's just 2 wires. If I have to do that one over, as opposed to the 8 or 9 or 10 wires that I had to do with the headlights. Didn't used to need all those wires for headlights. Wonder why. Anyway, the other thing I use this here Aqua Seal tape. It's for construction mostly. But I inadvertently found something that really sticks well to this ABS plastic and anything else that you don't want it to stick to too. You better be sure when you position it that you're ready to go, because that is it's going to stay put. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm just enclosing the parts to the side of the, where's the other one? Over here in the box still. Yeah, so you can see I cut away this to adapt this to fit under the nose. So I have this whole open area. I don't want to get a bunch of moisture in this lens, so I'm basically sealing it up with that rubber tape there, and seems to be doing a good job. Anyway, those will have to go in. We'll see what's going on there. Some other things I'm going to have to get involved with is I've got to run my lines for my window washers, and I've also got to extend the wiring harness for the windshield wiper motor. It's got to go all the way across through a hole, come back, be able to plug into there. I've got to take this bar out here and body work it, eliminate all these holes. There used to be a panel that came across here that's no longer around, but this is needed for as a stability. Provides some stability, I should say, for these shock towers. So I'm going to leave it there. It's a mount point for both the engine computer and some other stuff over there. That little switch, that kill switch for when the hood's open, can't start the car. Anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm up to. Okay, so both headlights are hooked up. I got the both signal lights are installed. Went ahead and put some P-clips in there to hold the wires where they need to go so they don't fall apart and vibrate loose. What else I got done? Oh, I got the window washer fluid tubes run the 2 locations here and then over there. Anyways, I also got the windshield wiper motor harness extended so that I can run it up inside over here all the way to the I got to fish it through, and of course I've got to hold it up to this inside over here. Wanted to show you this. This looks like it's wrapped with regular electrical tape here. This harness, but it's not. Regular electrical tape, you know, is kind of smeary, and under the hood in the heat, it'll tend to let loose and unravel. So I got this tape here. It's called Polykin, and it's by I think it's a place called Berry Plastics. Anyway, it's like a cloth-based tape, but it's meant for these underhood applications, and it won't let go. And so that's what I wrap the harnesses with. Anyway, thought I'd show you that, and that's about all I got time for this week. I was hoping to get the fenders on, but it's better to get all this stuff here messed around with before I get the fenders back on. Anyway, and I appreciate everybody for watching, and I will see you on the next one.